Hey everyone, welcome back to the Leslie and Lily podcast, the podcast for business owners as they are learning how to market themselves in the digital sphere, as well as learn from other business owners about the good, the great, the bad, the ugly of being an entrepreneur. You are not alone. And so today we are going to talk about fitness. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me, and the rest of humanity basically every year. We're like, we're going to get in shape. We're going to do this. And you start for a little bit and then, you taper off because there's this thing called life that happens. Well, my lovely guest today, Tyneka Pack, she is here. She is going to talk to you today about her fitness journey, her business journey, and her own company. Hey, boo, how you doing?
Hey girl, I'm doing
Hey.
good. How you doing?
Good. So, still a little tired, but life life is
Yeah,
life. We're
exactly. It's like that. It's like that.
Yes, yes. So, I was really excited to bring you on the show because you are one of the few business owners that I've met so far that actually has fitness as a business. And so, I'm
Ooh.
used to people who they might do it on the side or a lot of, we're doing yoga, but we're not doing anything else. So, how did you start your business journey and why fitness?
How
Ooh,
much
loaded
time we
question.
got? How much time we got, okay? Okay. So how I got into fitness, we're gonna give you the actual real version. So okay, so at this point, um it was about 14 years ago. I was a sophomore in college at the time, and I was looking for an internship in sales and marketing. I was super shy back then, like very shy. So if you met me 14 years ago, we probably wouldn't even be having this podcast because I would be sweating, like I'd be like stumbling over my words, mm-mm, no ma'am. So anyway, so I ended up finding a an internship with a insurance company, but I'm just like sales and marketing and I'm shy. I'm not sure how that worked, but it did what it did. But there were definitely some good times, definitely some not so good times. Definitely not some not so good times. And in the midst of me trying to find what I want to do next or whatever I want to get into, I started going to the gym with my mom as far as something for us to do together. uh, it ended up just being me going. So I ended up meeting this group of women who all worked out together and they all competed in different bodybuilding shows. That's nothing that I really wanted to do, but I just liked how my body was changing. I liked working out with them for the support. And then I went to one of their shows and there was this lady named Katrina Roundtree. She's actually my friend today. And I saw her on stage and I'm like, that is what I wanna do. Like, I wanna look just like that. I wanna compete
Mhm.
too. So I started training. I competed in about 10 different bodybuilding shows. I got my pro card, all the good stuff. And then towards the end of my competition phase, one of my good friends approached me and said that she needed my help. She was trying to prepare for a procedure she was getting done and needed me to help her lose weight.
Mm.
And, I'm just like, "You need me to help you?" And I'm like, "I need a coach myself. How am I gonna help you? And I need help myself." But, she was like, "Tanika, like, come on." She don't call me Tynika. She's like one of the few people that call me Tanika. Um, but I'm just like, "Okay." So I studied, got my, certification, worked with her for a couple of months, and we met our goal. And she got her procedure done. I enjoyed the process. Like that was definitely a boost of confidence. As far as me feeling like I could actually do it, I enjoyed working with her to get her to her goals and kind of seeing like her evolution during the months that we trained. And she was like my first like unofficial client. So from there, I'm
Mm.
just like, okay, well, this is something that I do want to do. And from there, she just started referring, and that's kind of how I got started. That's like the short version.
So how
The short
long I mean, it's great. So you basically you were in another job and you didn't
version.
really like it. You're like, it's cool. Like I went to school for this, but it seems like you're more of an introvert and or at that time you were, and
Yeah.
you're just like, sales. I gotta talk
Woo,
to people.
right.
Like, are you sure me? A whole me. I don't think
That's
that I need to
exactly.
do it.
That's
Right.
exactly.
So, how long did it take from you having that first client and getting referrals to you just setting up a business and this being what you do now?
So, um, so I had got my certification. It was like September 2016, 17. No, 16. Yeah, 2016. I worked with her through, I think it was like January or February of that following year. So I officially like announced it the end of 2017, like right after I was done my last
Mhm.
show. A couple weeks later, I announced it. Um, yeah, the end of 2017, and then from there, I started getting my first client in like February, just from
Mhm.
like referrals, and then from there, just kind of started rolling in. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to grow the way that it did.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
grateful.
Well, it seems like it's been a whirlwind then where you were able to, help somebody else out and then you got your feet and you were like, "Oh, okay, I guess I do like this and I can do
Yeah,
this at the same time." And it probably helps too because you were going to school for marketing and sales. So you still have a background when it comes into at least that part of running a
yeah.
business and stuff. So how did you put the background of the sales and marketing into the business that you have now?
You know what? You know what?
Tell me what. Tell me.
The funniest thing, because I was doing insurance, like I did well, but then there were times, like I said, I didn't do so well. But
Mhm,
like for some reason, I could not connect the two. Yes, like once I got into the sales and stuff,
mhm,
like okay, after my bodybuilding phase, that's when my confidence started to change. So how I
mm,
showed up in the insurance and sales completely changed, honestly, because of fitness and bodybuilding. So let me say that. So from there, like my sales were good, da 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 da. But for some reason, I could not. I struggled applying what I did in insurance sales to fitness, and I I don't know why. I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
I have done
Like,
the same thing.
yeah, it's just like okay, insurance, like I get it, like I get the whole thing, but then when I go to do like the sales and da 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 with the fitness, I'm just like stuck. But
Mhm,
I think I was able to get the clients that I did and onboard them. One, because the first 2 years, 2.5 years was literally referrals and word of mouth. And
mm,
then they worked with me because of that, and also just because of me. Like they can personal train anywhere, but I also think that they started training with me because of me. Does that
mhm.
make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Let's
Yeah.
put a pin in that. Let's
Yeah.
talk about
All right,
that
all
for a
right, all right, all
second.
right, all right,
But
all right.
couple things. I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs say that there is such a connection between exercise and business owning and being a great entrepreneur. And so you can, chime in definitely, but it
Yeah.
seems to be that when you get your physical in order, even if like you're on the road to it, that discipline, that showing up every single day, that putting yourself first, that
Mm.
creates a different type of mindset. And then, especially when you are in the field of bodybuilding, and if you are in a competition, like y'all do a lot. I
We
have
doing a
seen
lot, okay?
a
We doing a
whole
lot.
lot. a whole lot, and I'm over here like, "Ooh, it's not worth it for me." Like, good for you. You know, like,
I
you
get it.
mean I can't eat right now? I have to dehydrate myself just a little bit so that my muscles show. I I'm like, I'm all for lifting weights. I'm all for doing all that, but it's the dehydration for me. It's that part that I'm over
Oh
here
my
like,
gosh.
"Ooh, I'm so proud. I will be in your audience. I will say good for you, you know." But that connection, that hustle, like part of that is needed when it comes to being a business owner. And then as you said that before, like it definitely helped your confidence, right? So now
Mhm.
all of a sudden you are showing up like you're standing up taller, like you're looking people in the eye because you've already been putting in this work in another area of your life. And then you also said that you think that it's just you, like people really like you. And I don't think a lot of entrepreneurs understand, especially in today's world in 2023. And
Mhm.
honestly, for like the last 7 years, let's be real,
Yeah, yeah.
but you are your brand. You are your brand. And so, what makes it so great and so wonderful is you have so many people that are going to be able to connect with you. And
Mhm.
you have the internet, you have video, you have other things where people are looking for somebody who looks like you, who talks like you, who like laughs and is corny or is shy or whatever it is,
Yeah.
because they're connecting with that. And I really think that that was a good thing that you pointed out because some people are like, "Well, I mean, I'm just me." And sometimes when you hear that, you're like, "Okay, but what did you specifically do?" And it's like, "Well,
Right.
well, you were yourself." And I don't think a lot of people understand how just being yourself, the good, the great, the bad, the ugly, just showing up, how that
Mhm.
makes you more approachable, especially in business. So that
Yeah.
is also a marketing tactic. There's a psychology behind it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely, I completely agree. So, like, even before I like start training, before I even start talking about onboarding, like I always have a phone call with a potential client. If they show any interest, we are hopping on the phone, we are chit chatting. What is it that you? So we already start the relationship there, and then once we actually do like their in person consult, that's where we're actually able to sit. I get to learn a little bit more about them. Da 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 da. So I really think it's important to build that connection because if you think about it, if people are training with me 2, 3, maybe even 4 times per week, like they're spending a lot of time with you.
Mhm.
Even people who may work at home or whatever else, or they're busy with everything else, and maybe they don't even see their friends as often as they see you. So you're spending a lot of time with them, you're building a lot of rapport with them, and you just connect a lot with them during the time that they are actually are training. So I've had clients who, for whatever reason had to stop training, but guess who's the first person they call when they're ready to get back into training and working with the trainer?
That's very true. I had a personal trainer before, and honestly, I did not like her. And not
Okay.
No, not because she's a bad person. So, like, let's put
Yeah,
that
yeah,
out
yeah,
there,
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure she has other clients that, like, she is the best thing in the world for them. But for me, it felt like we didn't have enough of a connection in
Mhm.
order for me to continue on with her services, if that makes sense. It
It
felt
definitely
very
does.
much like, "Okay, this is a plan, this is what you do." It was very regimented and not necessarily explaining why, and
Mhm.
also not putting into account, I'm like, "First of all, you're going a little too fast. Like, look at this. Beginner." Let's say that again. Beginner.
Beginner. Got
Okay,
it.
no stamina. She doesn't have it. She doesn't have it yet. She doesn't have it. So, if
Yeah.
you are going to talk to me like a fitness bro, that's not gonna work for me, because 'cause I'm like, "You see this wallpaper? Flowers. This is who I am." You know? Like, I just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
it was one of those things of I mean, and I bring this up because I feel like even as business owners, as
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, when especially, small business, when you are speaking to potential clients and customers, you do need to get to know you do need to get to know them. You do
Absolutely.
need to be able to talk to them and make them feel safe with you. And so, knowing their likes, their dislikes, like learning a bit of their humor, showing your personality. And it's always important to show not just like your expertise, but to show your personality.
Mhm.
Because if you're working with someone for a while, like you might have a personality that rubs them the wrong way or vice versa. Right. And then as an entrepreneur, you don't have to take the client, right? You can
Thank
just be
you.
like, I can
Yes.
refer you to somebody else because I already see that if we spend a couple hours together, I'm going to want to go home. And you're paying me and I can't do that.
Yeah.
So, we got to work this
That
out.
is so true. Oh my gosh. That pre-consult allows you to, like, pick up the vibe, kinda see how the energies work,
Hmm.
because I was in a point in my career in the very beginning, I was taking almost anybody, but now I'm
Yeah.
just very selective because, like, this is my baby, and I wanna make sure when I come in to train clients, even if they are training with someone else, like, if they have, like, a partner session, like, the vibe has to be vibing, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can always say no, and you can fire clients too. I've done that.
Ah, I appreciate you just for that. Um, no, because here's the thing. I was afraid to do that in the beginning, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Especially because you are trying to take everybody. You are really just like, I'm trying to get referrals. I'm trying to make sure like that you see that I'm great at what I do. Like I'm trying to live. I'm trying to make money off of this, like it's important to my life. But
Absolutely.
but then you realize like you didn't like all your bosses, you didn't like all your managers, and you also don't want your client to feel like a boss, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Because it's a
Mhm.
reciprocal relationship. You do have people who come in and, some people can be very condescending. Some people truly have like no idea what they want but they also don't want to be given suggestions. At least in my field, and I'm just like, can't work with you. Can't work
Yep.
with you either.
Yep.
But I think that that comes with being in business for a while. You learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you. I've talked about this before, but I have learned the time of day that I work best and the time that I don't. And so, like, my sweet spot is the afternoon, like, once again, I am not a part of the 5 a.m. club. Like, that
Oof.
that's
Yeah.
real cute. Like, I might be going to bed at 5 AM, like, on
Girl, really? Oh
not
my gosh.
not always, not always, but I'm gonna tell you, like, every 3 to 4 months, I have a week of my life where I think I'm 16, and I literally am
Oh.
staying up until, like, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then by about day 5, my body says, "Sis,
Sis,
sis."
excuse me.
Right, and then that's when, brain fog forever, and that's when I get super emotional, like, when I am super tired, I just wanna cry, like, I truly am just like, "I just I don't and I have
Oh my
so much to do," and then it's like, "So why'd you stay up?" I'm like, "I know! I know."
Yeah, you knew.
Like, you grown. You are grown. You should
Yes.
know better. But I digress. Okay, so back to marketing. Hey, thank you, audience, for still listening. You guys are
Yes.
great. Um, you have been so it seems like a lot of your marketing for your business was, networking and word of mouth and all of those things. But is there anything else you did? Was there anything that you did online, any ads, or how else did you and do you market yourself?
Well, Yes. So I really didn't start getting into the social media marketing, content creation really until mm, 2019. So like after the first 2.5 years, then I actually
Mhm.
started utilizing Instagram and da 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 da. So, but lately, I would say over the last 6 or 7 months, like I've really like kicked up my content. Um, so now a lot of my, well, most of my referrals now come from either Instagram and a few from TikTok. To be
Mhm.
honest, those are like my top two places I've been getting clients over the last, I would even say 2 years.
That makes sense. Those are both video sharing platforms, and especially if you are in an industry that it's about fitness and people are
Mhm.
like, I want to see, especially, I mean, kind of like what you said, your friend, you saw her in a competition, you're like, I want to look like that, right?
Yeah.
So if
Yes.
you have a trainer who is personable and who also they look fit, you're just like, ooh, I like them. Or even honestly, you have people that they just someone who looks like you, right? Because they're all different body types and there's all different,
Mhm.
type of
Mhm.
trainers. So you have a specific audience, but what is
Yes.
something that is necessary, honestly, now is video. Video needs to be done, especially because Instagram definitely has been trying their hardest to compete with TikTok. Like they are like, we will stay
Literally.
alive. We will
Literally.
stay alive. So, when you say that you're using Instagram, are you doing more posts, stories, reels? What is working the best for you?
Post and being consistent, and
Mm,
then just the content that I'm putting out. So, like, before, I was literally just all kind of over the place. I really didn't have a a target audience. I didn't have a niche. I was just posting stuff to post stuff. I actually
mhm,
hired a mentor. Amazing, amazing, amazing mentor. So from there, like my content that I post, like every piece of content, there's a reason for the post.
mm,
Um, my core values now is community, education, and customer experience. So a lot of my posts that have gotten a lot of traction with newer clients are the educational ones, where I'm actually breaking down complex ideas or exercises and making it simple for
mm,
everyday women to understand and execute, which, I think is important, especially women who are just going to the gym or want to start their fitness journey. The first thing they'll probably do is just go on the treadmill and
yeah.
then just kind of be like, okay, well, I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And they don't know how to do it. They want to, but they don't know how. And they need guidance on that. So I think that um, type of content that I've been posting has really increased the traffic as well.
Something that you said that I think all of us need to remember is that there needs to be a purpose for your posts. And
Mhm.
the purpose isn't, just to get more likes and follows. So the thing is, what a lot of people don't understand is that online spaces are community spaces. And so
Mhm.
if you go in and you're looking to build a community and not just go in with, let me show you how great I am, then the community aspect is what will keep your business alive. People are
Yep.
looking for connection. They're always looking for connection, no matter their stage of life, no matter what's going on. And especially if they're starting new, they're starting something new. They're looking to their hand to be held a little bit,
Exactly.
and just like you said, you're educating people. You're like, it doesn't have to be that hard. Because I immediately connected with you when you said we go on the treadmill. Yeah,
Yeah.
treadmill, elliptical,
Yeah,
or a bike. It's just like I'm stationary. I
exactly. And that's typical, and I've been there, especially when I first started before I ended up getting a coach. So
Mhm.
yes. I understand. I've been in the shoes, been there, done that. That's why I make sure that the content that I post relates to that and helps come from the treadmill to the weights, and maybe not just working out in the ladies section of the gym. Like, be confident helping my clients and, followers be confident in knowing how to execute different exercises that they don't mind working out with other areas where the guys are at. Like, I used to be in the ladies part of the gym until I knew what I was doing. I live downstairs next to the heavy lifters as well. So my goal is just to make sure, like, everybody is confident. The ladies are confident in the gym and know how to do different exercises. So they don't have to compartmentalize themselves to the treadmill or the elliptical or, the ladies section.
Okay. And going back to Instagram for a little
Yes.
bit. So you post consistently. Do you use any sort of hashtags, or do you find that certain days are working best for you? Or and when you post, you said it's just a post. Is it video, or how are we doing this?
Um, Reels has been my thing lately.
Mhm.
Um, so definitely the reels. I have been trying to pay more attention to my analytics as far as what days of the week and time of day most of my followers are active. So I try to post around there.
Mhm.
Usually it's either around 12, 3, or 6, just depending on the day. So I try to make sure that I post around those times. And I also make sure that I engage with my followers around those times as well. So reels for sure. Static posts have actually been doing pretty good, and I'm trying to incorporate more carousels,
Yeah.
which, yeah, I haven't before, but I'm trying to incorporate those more now.
No, I mean, I think that's great. You started with something that's working for you. So you're doing reels. And
Mhm,
then something that I think that you mentioned that a lot of people forget is there are times of day overall, that, for this platform, if you post, a lot of people are busy. But if you go down even further and if you say, when are my followers active? Because
mhm.
that is when those are the people that you wanna talk to you, right?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
And
exactly.
reels really are great at getting your stuff out for many people to see, People like, Instagram is a great place for fitness people. Like,
It
let's
is.
just
It literally is.
it's always been, you have a lot of people who were like that's how they were able to build up their YouTube platform,
Mhm.
because they started doing little shorts or little things on Instagram first.
Yep.
And, people did stuff in their stories or and they would like save it and they're like, now it's here. And then reels came out. They're like, yeah, all right, I got this too. So
Exactly.
I would definitely say, to everyone listening, like, make sure that you go and you take a little time and you see when most of your followers are active. Usually, I would say for Instagram, it is 3 times a day. It's morning, noon, and evening, honestly.
Mhm.
So it's anywhere from like 7:30 to about 9:15 in the morning. It is about 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., quote unquote, because I'm trying to
Mhm.
put in all the time
Yeah,
zones,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, of
You
course.
know? And then at night, as you said, this is where it gets tricky. It could be like 6 to 9. Some people, it's 9 to 11. Like, that is when you really need to, like, really look at your, who's active. A good way for you to see who's online at the time is act like you're about to do a live, and it shows how many of your followers are actually on at that time. It's like, yeah, if
Really?
you press live, then it will say before you're even recording, it will say 16, 20, 100 people are on at this time. So that's when like, "Oh, these people are here." So that's
Shut
when
up. I did
yes,
not know that. Oh my gosh. I did not
because
know that.
right, and there are times where you're like, "Wait a minute." You're like, "No, I won't post yet. There's only one person active." You know? And so, and I would
Uh,
say, play around with it because each
yeah,
day is
absolutely.
different. Each day
Yes.
is different, but if you do that, that's an easy way to just see who's online, who isn't online. Um, people are still very active in their stories. At least in my experience, I have a whole bunch of people in my stories. And then they'll remember that I actually have like a page that they can go to. And they're like, oh, yeah, you here
Yes.
too. You know? And so
Exactly.
that can be discouraging if you're putting posts up and it's just, on your page and you're like, no one's looking. And then, you put a story up and it's like 200 views and you're like, I guess this is where I need to be, So it's marketing can be fun and you honestly can play around with it so
Absolutely.
much. And that's what you need to do to, continue to grow 100%. Um, so I think you're doing a great job. I think you're doing a really great job. You're on
Thank
a platform
you.
that people naturally gravitate towards.
Mhm.
Um, so we know that you are a trainer. What is actually the name of your business? I don't think we said this at
We
all.
surely did not. Y'all, if y'all are still listening, hopefully you are, but it's ImPACKt Fitness. We
There
sure didn't.
You see, we were just vibing. We knew.
Exactly, see? We were. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah, ImPACKt
So,
Fitness.
okay. And do you do online sessions or is it only in person?
So, I do both. Like, I'm actually just about maxed out for all of my in-person sessions. I can maybe squeeze maybe 2 more. Um, Other than that, I actually have a mobile app that I use to train my online clients. So I have the flexibility to do that too.
You see that? She got an app, y'all. Okay. Okay, Miss Pack. I see you.
Girl, you
Listen.
see me.
I see you like she was like, hey, 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 show it. Let people see. That is awesome. All right. So tell everyone now that we actually know your name, your company's name, and everything.
Yes.
Can you please tell us the name of the app and your Instagram or any other place where you can be found?
Yeah, so the app is the ImPACKt Fitness app, but you can find me and all of my socials, connect with me everywhere on connectwithtyneka.com. So connect with TYNEKA.com, and everything is there.
Yes. And that will also be in the show notes for you guys to just be able to click on. I'm pretty sure some of you were already scrolling because you were like, what is, I mean, how do I connect with her? They haven't even said the business yet. Like what's going on there?
Right.
Um, thank you for listening. You're so amazing. We appreciate it.
We really do. My lord, we really do.
Listen, listen, you're a blessing, a whole blessing. But you guys, okay, thank you for tuning in again to Leslie and Lily, the podcast for business owners as they are learning how to market themselves in the digital sphere, as well as for business owners learning from other business owners. I want you guys to remember you are not alone, no matter if you are at the beginning, middle, or maybe the end of your business journey. There's always someone who you can learn from. Please do not forget to sign up for my newsletter, where every week you will get marketing tips as well as you will see the guest of the week. And I am running a special right now for my marketing program. Your first 30 days teaches you who your customers are online, how to get them to stop scrolling, sales techniques, all the fun stuff. Plus, I work on mindset because, as we know, you have to get over yourself in order to make some sales. Let's be real.
Yes.
It's just like, can I do this? Yes, yes, you
Yes.
can. If you sign up for the newsletter now, I am currently giving 50% off of the program, but that will be changing soon. So you might want to sign up. And until next time, hugs, kisses, all good wishes. We'll see you later. Bye.